Hey, Donnie Smith here, and it's been a long time since I've posted on this channel. This is my vlog channel, just kind of about whatever. And it's been quite some time since I posted on here. I've been pretty active with the DIY auto body and paint. I've been posting regularly to that one. I have another channel where I test some products and haven't been too active with that one. Probably about a year. This one's been even longer. So I thought, well, I'll touch base with some of these channels and just kind of give you an update on what's going on. So, kind of going outside of what I normally do in the DIY auto body and paint for my videos, and I decided to get a jet boat. And really don't know a lot about jet boats, and the motor was knocking. Anyway, I got that pulled, and a connecting rod had got broke and twisted up in there, and I think it messed up the valves and the cylinder. So probably going to have to look for a short block or a long block. It's a 460 Ford motor. Um, and Ford. I'm not as familiar with the Ford motors as I am the Chevy. So that's something that I'm kind of working on. Also, um, I had a Nissan pickup, a Frontier pickup, and had it for years. And then my boys started driving it, and they got it a little bit rough shape, but the timing belt broke on it. And I kind of got to looking up on that. About different motors. What they call it, the inner something. Uh, Anyway, some motors, that if that happens, it bends the valves. And I looked it up, and this happens to be one of those motors. It's a 2001 Nissan Frontier. And the problem with that is, I said either a total rebuild kit or probably find a short block for it. Um, but the truck's not worth that much. So I'm kind of thinking about what I should do with that pickup. Uh, kind of hate to all the panels on it are good. There's no rust. So I may just part it out. The fenders, the hood, doors, um, and then radiator. All that stuff's still good. So I may think about parting that out. If you know anything about those motors, be sure and leave me a comment. I'm sure if you know about motors, you know what I'm talking about. Those certain motors that it bends the valves if the timing belt breaks. And I looked it up and it said it was one of those. So I can't remember the name for that, but it does happen to be one of those. But if you have any information, what would you do? Would you just part it out? Uh, if you rebuild it, time you find the parts, I just don't know if you're going to get out of that vehicle what you're going to be putting into it. And I don't want to spend money on something and then just to get part of it back, or even spend all that time and break even. Um, so I'm kind of undecided on that. On the jet boat, I am definitely going to do that because I want to get that ready. My first intention was I bought it in September and I wanted to have it ready for summer, but um, I'm going to paint it. There's some fiberglass work I got to do, and be putting this on my DIY channel. Um, Going to have to overhaul or find a short block, motor. Not sure yet. Don't have it all the way tore apart. So I'm kind of debating, what I should do, but probably not going to have it ready for this summer. It's probably going to have to wait one more summer, just due to the expense. Takes a lot to rebuild those motors, also the paint and all that. So I don't know. I could have it done labor wise, but just kind of waiting on my finances. Um, I'm one of those type of people that just like everybody else, that has to do it a little bit at a time. So if you another thing I found out about those jet boats, this is an older '78, one of those type of jet boats, um, Condor '78 Condor, I believe, with a 460 Ford motor. I bought that thinking like cars, because really on cars you can find out how to do anything. You can get on YouTube. You can also find parts. This ain't the case with jet boats. Trying to figure out how to do something, those boats, there's just not a lot of them out there being worked on YouTube. There might be some of newer boats, but not these style boats. And when you go looking for parts, there's not a lot of parts out there. Not a lot of places that have these older parts. So my question to you is out there. I mean, if you know more about these Nissan motors, and I'm more of a body and paint guy. I'm kind of the DIY when it comes to motors. I mean, I used to mess with them when I was a kid, with my dad, but I really don't know a whole lot about those. But if you uh, know something about those motors, or a place where you can find them really cheap, the rebuilt motors that they remanufacture them and you can buy them, the long blocks or short blocks. Probably need a long block if the valves are even bent. So, and also, uh, these Ford motors, 464. If you got a good source for those, for either buying a rebuild kit or buying a short block or long block, I don't look that up a lot. I'm always looking up body parts and things like that. But I know there's a lot of wisdom out there. A lot of you know a lot about mechanical. Probably a lot of you know a lot more than I do. I've been to that. So if you have any resources on the older jet boats, parts for those, there's some things I want to replace. Ford motors or Nissan motors, be sure and leave a comment. And also, when I'm painting this boat, I had to consider, am I going to use gel coat or clear coat? I did some research, and people do both. They do either or, and there's benefits to either one that I found online. The gel coat is a little bit thicker, uh, but it fades out, or a lot, you have to buff on it more. It doesn't have quite the gloss level that regular automotive clear coat has. But if you got an opinion on that, let me know, because I'm kind of debating which direction I should go. Right now, I'm kind of thinking about House of Color or some type of custom paint and maybe some metal flake. I'm not sure, how I'm going to paint it yet. But what if if you're a boat person out there, what is your preference? Do you see a big advantage or disadvantage over using automotive, base coat and clear coat as compared to gel coat? I'd like to know your thoughts on that. So anyway, this is just a quick video blog that I wanted to do, and kind of put that out there. I know a lot of people don't watch this channel like the others because haven't been active on it at all. And I plan to start putting more on here. This is the channel where I can just kind of talk to you and maybe get advice or give advice or whatever. It's not really a how-to channel, although I might do some things on this channel. But if it's a good way to get information or give information. So if you got any advice on any of this, be sure and leave a comment below. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.